Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. It's FPL Maverick, and today we're just going to have a quick look at popular transfers in and out this week, game week 11. So, popular transfers in, we've got Chris Wood, Mohamed Salah, Solanke Aina, and Mbermo. All very, very interesting transfers. And top transfers out, I'm sure not a lot of you will be surprised that Haaland is trending out. He's the highest transferred out player this game week so far at 367,519 transfers out. Then onto Luis Diaz, Watkins, Van de Ven, and Kai Havertz. So let's start with the transfers in. Chris Wood has 406,000 transfers in, playing Newcastle next at home. He's got very interesting stats as he has been doing very well. He's averaging 1.23 big chances per 90. I would say one thing, as he has Arsenal next week and Manchester City a few weeks after. Whether you bring him in this week, I'm not too sure if it's an absolute must, but I would like him for Ipswich. So now I have him. I'm not going to get rid of him, but I don't know if I'm necessarily saying go out and buy Chris Wood. Moving on to Mohamed Salah, 12.8 million, is 45% owned with 308,000 players bringing him in this game week. If you're thinking of getting rid of Haaland, it's because you are moving on to Mohamed Salah. He's averaging 3 shots per 90, 2 shots on target per 90, 2.8 shots in the box per 90, and a 0.58 xg, which is very, very good. Salah, if you want to bring him in, that makes absolute sense because he has Aston Villa next, on to Southampton, obviously Manchester City at home, and then on to Newcastle. But his fixtures are okay, but they're not the best moving forward, but they are definitely good enough to consider bringing in Mohamed Salah. Moving on to Solanke. Now, Solanke is an interesting pick as he has Ipswich this week, Manchester City, then Fulham, Bournemouth. I don't necessarily like Solanke as a pick moving forward just because he has not done much. I know he just came off 2 goals and an assist, but outside of that, he hasn't looked great. That being said, his XG is 0.66, which is a great XG. He has 2.54 shots, 1.52 shots on target, 2.41 in the box. These are good stats, and if he lives up to his stats, he is a great pick. So I'd say from the eyes, he hasn't done much, but outside of that, he is a good pick, especially over the next few game weeks. And 291,000 players agree. Moving on to Brian Mbermo. Now, Brian Mbermo has some brilliant fixtures coming up with Bournemouth, Everton, Leicester, and Villa. 202,000 players have brought him in so far this week. He's averaging 1.51 shots in the box, 1.21 shots on target. Now that Risa is back as well, we might see a little bit of a drop in the amount of shots he's taking, but that doesn't make him any less dangerous. He's got a 0.24 expected assists and 0.38 expected goals. Those together are very, very, very good stats. And onto the last player we have here with 288,000 players bringing him in is Ola Aina. 4.7 million. You can see why players are bringing him in because Nottingham Forest have actually had a very, very good defensive record so far this season. These are not impressive numbers, but that being said, for 4.7 million in a player that is playing every game week, playing against Newcastle, they haven't been the most prolific going forward. That being said, Newcastle are sorting themselves out a bit now, so I don't know if I'm expecting a clean sheet. So yeah, that's going on to the transfers in. Now let's have a quick look at our transfers out. Now, most transfers out this week, 367,000 players have gotten rid of the big man, Erling Haaland. He has Brighton next away, which is a good fixture historically for Haaland. But from then, Tottenham, Liverpool, Nottingham Forest, we just discussed Forest have a decent defense. So I understand why players are moving the money. because 15.3 million is a lot, but his stats are still there. He ranks top with everything attacking. 0.97 expected goals, 1.1 goals per 90, 4.81 shots, 2.9 on target, 4.4 in the box. These are all per 90. Obviously, 0.04 expected assists. We don't really expect too many assists from Haaland. He has been very unlucky in the last few game weeks. And now, with the likes of Kevin De Bruyne getting fit and potentially coming back into the squad, not this week, but after the international break, I think we're going to see a big, big improvement in Haaland's realized numbers. Then on to Luis Diaz. Now, Luis Diaz is 7.7 million, 25% owned. Now, Aston Villa, Southampton, Man City, and Newcastle aren't the best fixtures for Diaz, especially seeing as he is not getting the game time. When he only plays a few minutes. He obviously had a very, very good start to the season, but that has tapered off a bit now. We're looking at his stats with 0.48 expected goals. He is taking shots. He's averaging 1.4 shots on target and 2.2 in the box. He makes crosses. Now, this is good for what we're looking at as a winger as well. 0.8 crosses, and his expected assist is 0.19. So this is still a player that is doing well, but I understand why players are getting rid of him, because he just is not getting the game time. Moving on to Ollie Watkins at 9 million. I think with 9 million, that's just a lot to pay for Ollie Watkins, isn't it? Especially seeing as he has Liverpool next, then on to Crystal Palace, Chelsea, and Brentford. Not the greatest fixtures. 219,000 players are getting rid of him at the moment. He has expected goals at 0.56, which is very good. Expected assists 0.07, it's not the most ideal, but he does get shots, 2.65 shots, 1.5 on target, 2.6 in the box, and 1.61 big chances. This is all per 90. So he has a lot of potential, but I'd say with Liverpool up next, I wouldn't be buying him in, but I understand why 219,000 are getting him out. So now on to Van de Ven. Now, Van de Ven is injured currently, but he's potentially back after the international break, which means he'll miss Ipswich and be straight into Manchester City. So I wouldn't, definitely not going to be bringing him in. So I understand why players are getting rid of him to open up and potentially go Van de Ven to Aït-Nouri or Aina, like we saw in the transferred in. 185,000 taking him out. And then on to Kai Havertz. Now, Kai Havertz is 8.1 million, 13% owned, and 177,000 players have gotten rid of him this game week so far. Ideal, but I'd say from game week 13, Arsenal assets is where you want to be. And with Ødegaard coming back, that creates that freedom up top for Havertz to run onto those balls that we love to see from the likes of Saka. I wouldn't be getting rid of Havertz if I'm perfectly honest. I know he's got that injured mark, but that's because he cut his head and he had to have stitches. That's going to be okay by the time we come round to Chelsea, and at the very least when we get to Nottingham Forest and West Ham. So 0.49 XG. He takes shots, 2.4 shots, one big chance created per 90, one shot on target on average per 90. He gets the ball in the final third quite a lot, 12.6 final third passes. So he is 0.11 expected assist. Now, in total, we're looking at a player that has assist potential and mainly attack potential. I wouldn't necessarily be getting rid of Havertz, but I can to a degree see why, because 8.1 million, you want to move that around. There are other players like Raul Jimenez, like Chris Wood, even Jamie Vardy, these players which are cheaper and putting up some of the same numbers. So I understand it, but I think Havertz is going to come good soon. Thanks for listening to me ramble on. If you liked the video, please like, subscribe, let me know what you thought in the comments. But I'll see you in the next one. All right, peace.